Hello, I'm Aly Owens, a product manager and entrepreneur. Welcome to my product management course. I have years of experience working in startups and corporations, managing large-scale mergers and multi-million-dollar projects, including working with global teams. I hope you find this class valuable and become a better product manager.
All right, the topic of today is roadmap session flow and how to prepare for a roadmap session. So first of all, I'm breaking it down to 7 steps that I personally usually use. The first one is customer idea board. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. Let me actually step back and tell you about roadmap sessions. Every product will have a roadmap, and instead of having a project and 5-year plan, which you can definitely have with working with products, you actually usually break it down to smaller portions and you iterate. Since we use agile methodology, we know technology keeps moving fast, so we have to be able to adapt quickly. So roadmap sessions are important so that you know that you're building the right tools for your customer and you make right decisions for the product. So when you think about the year, you break it down to 4 different quarters, and you build the roadmap, kind of high-level initiatives that you're going to do during that year, and that aligns under the strategy of the entire product. Is your product going to be all about security? Maybe your product is going to be all about shopping, and then you delve into the niche, right? Like what exactly are you going to be the strongest at? So it just really depends on your product. The point of roadmaps and roadmap sessions are to enable the customer to tell what they need, as well as combine it with the needs of stakeholder and the needs of the product itself. Like internally, as a technical team, you'd be wanting to have upgrades and do some maintenance work that you need to take into consideration. I'm currently mostly using examples of software and technology field, but you can apply it to all sorts of products, hardware products as well. So starting with customer idea board, first of all, you need to be able to not only have a backlog of your own things to do, but also a place where your customer would be able to send their ideas, where you'd be able to discuss details of it. And emails are okay, but they're not great because there's going to be a whole ton of them, and you need to still gather it in one place. Additionally, if you work with customers separately, there's pluses to it, especially if you're a SaaS provider, so software as a solution as a software. Pause. I'll just cut it. Now there are pluses if you're working with customers separately, and maybe they have customized views. But if they don't have customized views, and if most of the time they use the same version, it is better to have a board for the entire bucket of customers where they can see other teams' requests. This way, first of all, they understand that there's a lot of other customers and needs, and understand what you guys are working on. And also, they would be able to add on to that feature request, so that it's also good not only for one customer but for all. So that visibility and over communication is actually pretty good. For the examples of customer idea board, there's a few. First, you can use AHA. So this tool is called AHA. I'm not sure if it's gonna let me in at this point, but no. But please check out AHA as a solution. It's gonna look something like this. AHA.io is a great product for product managers. It has idea board, it has roadmap tools. You can easily build roadmaps and track features. The ideas that your customers come up with can be easily transitioned into a feature request, and it also integrates with a whole ton of software, with Rally, with GitLab and GitHub, with a bunch of solutions. So they're very flexible and easy to use. So that's one way to collect your ideas. It is more pricey. I think it's about $1,200 per year. So you need to think about pluses and minuses. The other solution that I could recommend is ideaboards.com, which is free, and it looks more like Trello, but you'd need to look into the security level, whether it's secure enough for you. Now, if I only remembered the email I used it with. Okay, bingo. So yeah, here's just an example. So what you do, you discuss it with your customers, they write it down, or you write it down during your sessions, and then during the roadmap session, you let them vote. You also let them vote afterwards. I'll dig into that shortly. But this way, the customers are able to see the list and see the prioritization. So I can sort by votes and see which ones are the most important, highly voted for. So clearly, these are going to be my priorities. These are the things I'm going to build first. So that's just an example. There's a few other solutions that you can use. You can even utilize Slack channel. It's a little bit more tricky and complicated, but it's another way to do it. So the goal is for other customers to see your ideas. All right. Next, moving on back to our steps. All right, it's right here. The next step, so here you are, you've shared your customer idea board link with all your customers. They know what to do. They know they can add a request any time of the year, anytime they want, with details. And what's going to happen is, as soon as they do, you as a product manager will be able to reach out to them, ask more questions, and kind of keep it in the back of your mind for building the next quarter. So discuss ideas and with customers and stakeholders. So you discuss them with customers, add whatever is needed. Stakeholders are your leadership usually. Stakeholders are those who are investing in the product. So they will have more of an enterprise level need. And right now I'm giving an example of a corporate world where there's going to be, company-wide change that is happening. So it's a non-negotiable feature. And then size your features. So the way you size your features is there's different ways. I'm sharing my way to do it. So take your team. You probably know their velocity and capacity, which means you know how many story points they can deliver. Let's say your team can deliver 100 points every sprint. Every sprint is 2 weeks in majority of cases. And let's say there is 6 sprints in a quarter. Now, a year has 12 months, each quarter has 3 months, and there's 2 sprints per month, right? Approximately. So it's about 600 points then per quarter, since there's 100 points per sprint. So now you say, okay, 600 points. Let's look at the features. We have a prioritized list of features that we've combined from our customers plus our needs and the non-negotiable from stakeholders. Now we have to size them down. We don't know all the details yet, and a lot of times we haven't done this job before, so we have to kind of t-shirt size it. How big is it going to be? How complex is it? And we can size them approximately. And you take a t-shirt size, which means, it's an XS, S, ML, XXL. And each of the t-shirt size has like their average number of story points. If you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, I will do more details. I will write more details and explain more on the story pointing in another video, and that video is going to be a part of the full-on course. So going back to the story points, so now we have 600 points for the entire quarter. We have our top 6 or top 10 features. We've t-shirt sized them, and looks like we can deliver only 4 features based on their t-shirt size. But it's not a roadmap session yet. The roadmap planning session, that's the big event. You prep so much before it so that the session itself is very successful. How do you do that? First of all, let's look at our little calendar, and I'll give you kind of an example. So let's say today is September 15th, and this is the end of quarter 3, and October 1st is going to be the beginning of quarter 4, right? Right. So then I would actually have a roadmap planning session very, very soon. I would probably have it either this week or next week, which would give me extra week or two to solidify my quarter 4 and publish it and share with all the customers. All right, so here we go. We tell our customers that the 21st of September is going to be the roadmap session. It's going to take 2 hours, whatever amount you need, depending on your product and how much you want to cover, and how much your customers are able to tolerate, because the longer the session, the fewer the people are going to show up because of the time commitment. Okay, so for this roadmap planning session, you need to have a few things. First of all, you want to prepare your demos to show this is what we have accomplished in quarter 3. This is what you guys asked for. This is how much we were able to deliver. You explain the deliverables. If you did not deliver some important things, you explain why it happened, and hopefully you were very communicating very well throughout the quarter, so they actually already know what happened and why it was postponed. All right, so then after the demo session, you kind of remind them the strategy for the entire year, like these are our main goals to focus on, and then you show them this is what we're planning based on your guys' ideas and our communication and the needs. This is our quarter 4, but we are open to discuss. I mean, here's our amount of story points. If something looks like it's not as important and maybe there's something else way more important, we can discuss that and swap. You can't add on because you have like a limitation of how much your team can deliver, but you can switch things around based on your guys' discussion with customers. So during this time, you let customers give more feedback and their needs, kind of talk through their problems or questions, and you add them into the idea board if they're not there. After the session is over, they know that they have about a week, that you tell them all the time, that they have a week to vote lastly, and everything will be solidified. You ensure that your voice is last because you are the one who's responsible for the team and for the product. So that's when, after the roadmap planning session is over and you vote and prioritize features, this is when you stop and complete the roadmap quarter 4 deliverables. Once the document is ready, you publicize it and you send it out to your customers. So the step that I was just mentioning, the resize your features, after the voting has been completed, you're able to resize them. So now you had, let's say, 4 features that you know you can deliver approximately. This is when you take it to the team and you guys write user stories so that you're able to better size them down and understand how much you can actually accomplish. And yeah, so this is the process how to have a successful roadmap session. If you want to learn a little bit more about roadmap planning sessions and how to build a roadmap, please check out my upcoming online course on Udemy. I'm working on it right now and I will let you know as soon as it's complete. I hope you guys find it useful, and I'll talk to you later.